my favorite little brain games to play with my audience is asking you to guess the sponsor of this video. Do you think you've gotten any better at the game yet? It's a pretty easy one if you lock in. So take your guess and we'll see if you've gotten any better at this game in 5, 4, 3, 2. This video is sponsored by Helix Sleep. Nothing feels as good as waking up on a mattress that's made just for you. I've had my Helix mattress for years now, and I truly can't speak highly enough of it. It keeps me cool, it keeps my bones happy, it keeps my dreams comfy, and I really do notice a difference whenever I sleep on the mattress. Like, my overall vitality is just so much higher. I think it really does improve my recovery from the gym, as well as my recovery from mental stress. I used to struggle so much with back pain, and I truly never do anymore. Helix mattresses have been reviewed against hundreds of competitors, and they always win. They were recently a USA Today's Most Trusted Brand winner for 2026, and the Helix Midnight Lux, which is what I have, has been ranked as the best overall mattress by both Forbes and Wired, and I can see why too. The Midnight Lux is the mattress that I was matched with whenever I took their sleep quiz way back when, and it has served me wonderfully. The quiz is surprisingly thorough, and it's a great place to start if you've never had the luxury of choice when it comes to a mattress, and that's kind of overwhelming. It's very simple to choose what's best for you, and they even include questions about your budget, so you know they're not just trying to bleed you for all you're worth. Helix also sent me their Comfort Adjust cooling pillows this month, and I'm in utter awe of them. They are so soft and squishy, and on top of that, they keep my head cool all night and relieve neck pain, which I definitely accrue whenever working at my desk all day. You can customize them to your preferred firmness with the zipper instead of breaking the bank with multiple different pillow firmnesses. So you can just adjust it to fit you as your body's needs change over time, or you can make sure that you have a pillow that works for any guest. Invite Pope Leo, invite Meryl Streep, invite Neil Armstrong over, invite your chiropractor over, because the pillow comes recommended by chiropractors too. Anyway, thank you so much to Helix for sponsoring, and please visit helixsleep.com/slightlysleepy to take advantage of their 4th of July sale and get 20% off site-wide, and make sure to be on the lookout for additional sales on the Helix site. Brains do really weird things, especially whenever they're falling asleep, whenever they're tired and relaxed. And one of the most consistent distortions that happen in our brains whenever we're falling asleep are memory distortions, where sometimes we remember things wrong. Sometimes we remember new things that are not really in our memories. Sometimes we can't think of something that we should really be able to think of, right? And all of that is happening because parts of our brains are falling asleep, falling asleep. And then there's other parts of our brains, specifically our consciousness and our sense of self, that's still alive. We have awareness without the usual hardware turned on. I love feeling my brain working. I think I started kind of taking stock of what my brain felt like when I was about 7 years old. I remember trying to place where my emotions were when I felt fear, when I felt excitement, etc., etc. Anyway, though, I think memory phenomena is super interesting. And there are a couple secrets sprinkled throughout this video, in the background of the video, in the foreground of the video, that some of you will notice, some of you won't. But I want you while you listen, while you lock in, and I tell you about all the little things going on in your brain. Because you've probably been here before. You've probably watched some of my videos before. You've probably seen this shelf. You've probably seen these pillows. You've probably seen this pillow. You've probably seen this little mushroom, right? You kind of know the way things usually are, but there is something different, isn't there? Do you know what it is yet? Do you see anything different? Or does everything look the same? Most of us are familiar with Deja vu. It's a French term, and it means feeling like you've seen something before, even when you haven't. Maybe you're new to this channel. You've never seen me before. But I have a feeling of familiarity about me. I have a doppelganger that works at a Trader Joe's, I think in Texas. So maybe you've seen her before. Maybe you are her. Maybe I give you the deja vu of yourself. That would be pretty cool. Anyway, maybe I feel familiar to you, even though I shouldn't, right? Maybe I feel familiar like I activate some sort of memory, even though you've never seen me before. Or maybe you watch my videos every single day, and yet something seems off. Or even like darker and weirder than that. I don't seem like I'm the right person. Do you know what that's called? That's called jamais vu. Jamais vu. Jamais vu. It's the opposite of deja vu. It's when something familiar, something that should be familiar, seems completely different. When you look at your mom and she kind of feels like an imposter. This is something that a lot of people who suffer from paranoia feel a lot, especially paranoid schizophrenia. I've felt it before with places. Sometimes, especially if I haven't slept enough, I go into a place, and even though I know where everything is, I feel a wrongness. I feel a deep wrongness. Nothing seems quite right. And that's jamais vu. Jamais vu. Jamais vu. Jamais vu. A little bit more stressful than deja vu, I think. Anyway. Have you noticed anything different yet? Maybe, maybe not. There's another vu called Presque vu. Presque vu. Presque vu. Presque vu. And we have an equivalent for that in English. 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 Can you guess what it is? It's that tip of the tongue feeling where there's something that you know, but you can't quite access it. You can't quite access that exact word that you know, something like specious, fallow, caricature, broccoli. Presque vu hits us really at the most embarrassing of times, usually whenever we're trying to impress our friends by knowing the name of an art genre or an actor, that's when the Presque strikes. Is there something that you can't think of? What can't you think of right now that you know you should be able to think of? What was your third roommate's name? What about your first grade teacher? What about your favorite old folk song? What about the first name of your favorite classic author? Those are the things that Presque agonizes us with. And it can be frustrating, right? It can be frustrating to try and notice whatever it is that's different. Whatever it is that's wrong when you're so sleepy and when you're so tired and you don't really want to use your brain in that way, right? You don't really want to do that right now. You don't really want to figure out what it is on this side of the background that is so very different from usual. Because there is something. But right now you just want to relax. You don't want to think of your third grade teacher's name. You just want to relax. And that's good. That's the point. All of those try hard sections of your brain, those can turn right off. Can you feel it whenever I blow on this little brain? Can you feel it cooling the inside of your head? There's another word called Anemoia, and that's nostalgia for a place you've never been, or for a time you've never lived in. I think ASMR gets at Anemoia a lot. The stranger at the train station. You've never been on a train, but it makes you feel nostalgic, doesn't it? So many ASMR videos, I think, are almost designed to trigger Anemoia. The slumber party role plays, the sister role plays, nostalgia for something that you never really had. Role plays of the 50s, the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 2000s. Maybe some of you feel that nostalgia properly because you've been there, but I know some of you haven't, or maybe you're from a different country and you didn't have exactly the same Y2K experience that we had here in America. You feel those parts of your brain turning off one by one. Can you feel yourself forgetting to try and remember what it is that's different? Because there is something different, just so you know. I don't think that you're going to get it, though. I bet the comments will, but I don't know about you. You know, most of you don't comment. I think usually the commenters notice things that the non-commenters don't. Because the commenters are locked in. They don't want to embarrass themselves by commenting something incorrect, right? So that's how it goes. Here's another memory phenomena for you. Semantic satiation, semantic, satiation, semantic, satiation, semantic satiation. Let's see. Semantic satiation would happen probably somewhere in here, in the left brain, where we deal a little bit more in language. Probably somewhere in here, a little bit more in language. And what semantic satiation is when you say a word over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until it stops feeling like a real word. It stops feeling like a little real word. It's been abstracted into sounds, into mouthfeel, into music, right? When's the last time that happened to you? Sometimes it happens to me with, it happens more often when it's a very simple word, like a pot, pots and pans. Because, like, where do those come from? Where does that word come from? Why is it called a pot? Pot, pot, pot. Pot, 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 pot. Pot, 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 pot. Like I'm hearing it like P-A-H-H-T now. Pot. 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 Semantic satiation. I think for some people it happens with bigger words. Like semantic. 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 You start to wonder, is it Semitic? No. That's a type of person. That's an area. It's not Semitic. It's semantic. Is it semantic? No, it's not semantic. It's semantic. Semantic. Is it semantic? Why does it have seman in it? That's kind of ew, gross. Semantic. Semantic. Right? You get thinking about words too much, it kind of makes you crazy because it's kind of like a duck thinking about how to swim. In this very moment, I am experiencing a form of jamais that I often do. This is one of my actual issues in life. I'm very bad with shapes. I just took this apart. I don't know how to put it together. I'm so bad. I did not play with blocks enough, I think, perhaps, as a babe. Oh gosh. Anyway. This is jamais vu. And this is a chronic form of it that I suffer from. As I was saying, maybe I should look at the other brain for reference, the other hemisphere. As I was saying, semantic satiation is when you say a word so often that it loses all meaning. And then there's another memory phenomenon. That looks about right. Yeah, that looks about right. Called confabulation. That's a fun one, isn't it? Confabulation. I feel like we could get semantically satiated with that one too, because we might conflate it. We might conflate confabulation with... Oh, now I'm experiencing Presque. What's the thing when you set something on fire? Conflagration. We might conflate confabulation with conflagration. Right? We might, but we won't. Confabulation. I'm sorry for my embarrassing disability. of not having played with enough blocks as a child. There we go, there we go. Figured out the brainstem, How many times will I play with the brain before I understand, before I stop getting jamais vu with it? Confabulation. Can you guess what that one is? It's one of my favorites to witness in real time whenever I see someone else confabulating. It happens whenever people have a lot of very strong defensive structures. Do you feel like you're a kind of defensive person? If you are, then you've probably confabulated quite a bit. I think it's very common in people who have medical narcissism or BPD, but it happens to all of us sometimes. But it's when you completely fabricate a memory and you believe that you're telling the truth. But you have a completely fabricated version of it in your head. People have it as well whenever if they have like really, really low self-esteem, which, I mean, a lot of people with personality disorders, including narcissism, under a lot of layers of grandeur, they have a low self-esteem. But anyway, I think it's most commonly observed as a sort of defense mechanism. And I feel like whenever you see someone confabulating right in front of you, telling you something that you know isn't true, you can see it in their eyes. You can see that they're confabulating, that their brain is working overtime to create a memory that fits into their narrative. And it's kind of sad to watch. But sometimes it just happens. It's not always sad. It's not always like a mental disorder. Sometimes it just happens. You know, sometimes you just accidentally have a different version of events in your head. And you're not lying. But you're also definitely not telling the truth. And that's confabulation. Confabulation. When I think confabulation, I feel a pressure right here in my head. And maybe that's me just empathetically thinking about looking into someone's eyes while they're confabulating right in front of me. And I can tell it's unpleasant. I almost wish they could just relax and live in the truth with me. But they're feeling defensive. Are you feeling a little bit defensive right now? Because you don't know what's different about this video? And do you think it's a bit? Do you think it's a bit? Do you think it's just a bit? And this is a video just like any other video, and nothing is all that different, and it's just clickbait. Normal YouTuber ASMR antics. Are you feeling defensive? Are you confabulating? Do you feel a pressure right there in your head? It's okay if you do. It's normal. It happens. A memory phenomenon that's very similar to confabulation, which we shan't conflate with conflagration, is cryptomnesia. It's very, very similar. Cryptomnesia is accidental plagiarism. When you think that you've made something up for the first time and you've actually heard it before. This happens all the time, to literally anyone, especially if you're a creative, especially if you spend a lot of time, slamming down those piano keys and everything kind of starts sounding the same and you're messing around in the same 4 chords, 6 chords, 8 chords. Happens a lot with music. And you realize you've accidentally rewritten, the Harry Potter theme, or the opening to The Office, or Pirates of the Caribbean. And you're like, dang, I bet my subconscious subconscious was leading me there by accident because I already like that song. That's Cryptomnesia. 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 I'm the first person who's made this ASMR video. I think. I could be wrong though. Maybe I'm cryptomnesing it. Maybe I'm cryptomnesing it. Cryptomnesing it. AI has chronic cryptomnesia. And it can't not have cryptomnesia. And that's tough. That's tough. That sure is tough, isn't it? Anyway, another fun little memory phenomenon. While you try and figure out what is different about this video, is the Mandela effect. Most of us kind of know what that is, right? Or do you come from a dimension where the Mandela effect doesn't exist? Because that would be interesting. That would be interesting, yeah. The Mandela effect is when there's a sort of collective, different version of a thing than what really happened. It's called the Mandela effect because at some point, a large portion of the world realized that Nelson Mandela didn't die because he was alive. And a whole bunch of people thought that he had died, maybe been assassinated or something. And that had not occurred. But people were convinced that it did. So many people. There's some other common ones, like the logo of Fruit of the Loom. The logo of Fruit of the Loom. Fruit of the Loom. Fruit of the Loom. Having a cornucopia. Or, not having a cornucopia. Apparently it's never had a cornucopia, according to the official Fruit of the Loom Incorporated. I think it's a psyop. I think they're just trying to get us to accept something that definitely used to exist there. They're trying to get us to doubt our memories. That's what I think. But that's what the Mandela effect is. And you know, I don't think there's any Mandela effects about me that I know of. But maybe one day. Maybe one day. Anyway, have you figured out what's so different about this video? Do you feel like it's on the tip of your tongue? The tip of your tongue? The tip of your tongue? Do you feel like there's something familiar here? Maybe something strange? Bertolt Brecht said that was the goal of theater, or that it should be one of the goals of theater. To make the strange familiar, and to make the familiar strange. It's basically what Shakespeare said as well in the Hamlet play. To hold a mirror up to nature, to show virtue her own feature, scorn her own image, and the very age and body of the time his form and pressure. To make the familiar strange and to make the strange familiar. And Brecht called it the Verfremdung effect. I hope I say that okay. Verfremdung effect. Verfremdung effect. I'm sorry if I say it bad, but in American it would be Verfremdung. Verfremdung effect. Verfremdung effect. But if I try to say it more Germanically, Verkehrsstimmeffekt. But I'm not very good at that. For the Germans in the audience, though, me saying it badly probably has a way of making the strange familiar and the familiar strange, doesn't it? Doesn't it kind of make you want to say it? Whenever I say it like Verkehrsstimmeffekt, does that give you a little bit of semantic satiation? Does it give you a little bit of semantic satiation? Does it make your brain go tinkle, 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 with what fun it has been to ride with me on this sleighing song tonight? I hope that you sleep well. Let me know if you figured out what was different, because something changed. Just so you know, something changed, and I can't wait to see who noticed. Good night.